Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Y'all see I got a big old brisket here, but I'm not doing that normal smoked brisket barbecue style. I'm giving it that Sunday dinner roast treatment. Gonna make a nice gravy to serve with it at the end. I'm calling it an Easter brisket. Let's get to cooking. So I've got a whole packer brisket here. This one started out about 14 pounds. I like to cook them in that range, 13 to 15 pounds. And I didn't do a whole lot to this brisket at all. You'll notice most of the fat still here on the bottom. It had a little bit of a hump on it. I want that brisket to lay flat. So I just took that off and then just kind of rounded it out so it'll lay even on the pit. Now we want to get some seasoning on it. And I'm not using a barbecue rub today. I'm using that salt, pepper, and garlic. Y'all seen it before, my AP rub. And I'm gonna put a good dose on it. I want some savory flavors. This big old piece of brisket can take the salt, it can take the pepper, and it can take the garlic. Now we're gonna start that roast flavor I'm looking for, and I've got a pack of this Lipton onion soup mix. I know y'all have seen these before. They're great on roast, well, they're also great on brisket. And I'm just gonna season this brisket because we're gonna let it sit here and kind of melt in. It's packed with some good flavors. You can see some dehydrated onion chunks in it. All that's gonna rehydrate. These flavors are gonna melt into the brisket. It's gonna flavor this gravy for us too as we build it. Now we're gonna flip it over. We're gonna season this top side. But the first thing, we're gonna give it that dose of AP seasoning all over the top. And as I'm doing this, I'm gonna kind of pat some on the sides. Now we're gonna hit it with the rest of our beefy onion mix. Flakes of onions are gonna kind of stick to it, give it a little bit of crust. I like that. And I've also got a little bit of dried herb that I wanna put on the top. And these are just some flavors that go with roast. I've got some parsley, got a little bit of thyme, and a little bit of rosemary. Now it's starting to look like something you want to serve for Easter dinner. So you can already tell on this brisket, it's starting to pull out some moisture. Those herbs are rehydrating, the onions melted into the top. It smells beefy. I know it's gonna make a dang good roast. So for this cook today, I'm gonna be cooking on my stick burner pit. You wanna hold it at 275 degrees. To get started, I'm putting royal oak lump in my fire basket. When those coals get good and hot, I'm gonna start adding sticks. That's gonna give me BTUs, it's gonna give me some smoke, and it's gonna brown the outside of that brisket. All right, now that the Outlaw's running at 275, it's time to get this brisket on the pit. Now I'm putting it on the grate, point side towards the heat. You want that thick end pointed towards your fire. That's gonna let the heat flow over the brisket, keep it from drying out on the flat side, and it's still gonna make that nice brown bark on top of it. Now we're gonna get the lid closed and just let the smoker do its job. It's gonna take 3-4 hours to get that bark just right. Then we're gonna break this brisket down, turn it into something special. Okay, this Outlaw's been chugging along. I still got it right at 275. The first part of this brisket cook was just straightforward. We're just trying to get some color on the outside. You can see from the AP we put on it, from the beef onion soup mix, from the herbs, it's got a beautiful little crust on it. This is the point where I want to get it off, and y'all check it out. It's stiff as a board because it ain't done, but the color is beautiful. That's what you want to see. So all we got to do now is get it over there and work on this braising liquid. We're going to add even more flavor to it. We're going to break it down. So I'm just going brisket straight in a large aluminum pan. This pan's what's going to hold it the rest of the cook. We're gonna work on our flavors now, and that's the braising liquid that's gonna help cook this brisket. Now I'm using some red wine. You could use something you like to drink, whatever. I got a little 2-buck chuck going on, and I got some beef broth. Both of these are going in. I'm not really measuring it because you don't want to cover the brisket. You just want it to come up on the sides of it. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. It's just gonna fortify those flavors, give us a little bit more acidity to it. Now here comes the good part. I got 2 big onions I've sliced up and a whole head of garlic I've just roughly chopped. We're not gonna put them right on top of the brisket. We're just gonna slide them around the sides. And these onions are gonna cook down. They're gonna get tender. They're gonna give us a lot of good flavor. They're gonna make that gravy at the end absolutely delicious. And last but not least, I got 3 or 4 bay leaves. I'm just gonna put one on each corner here. Now before I cover this brisket up, I'm gonna go ahead and put a meat probe in it. I've just got the straight probe from my dot alarm going right in the center of the flat, about halfway in. That's gonna allow me to watch those internal temperatures while this brisket breaks down, while it gets tender. Now we're gonna come over the top of the pan with a piece of aluminum foil. It's that easy. You just want to tuck it down, create a good seal on it, trap all this goodness on the inside. That's what the aluminum foil's doing. So we got the point on the right side, setting it right back in the middle of the pit. Any grill you can do it, just keep that temperature the same. You want it to stay between 275, 300 degrees, and this is gonna take a while. We got a big brisket, we gotta get it tender. We're just gonna monitor that internal temperature, keep adding some sticks as we need them. So we've hit that 202 on our thermometer. That's that perfect temperature for brisket. We ought to be where we want it tenderness wise, but now it's time to check that internal temperature. So what we're gonna do is take the full off. Now we've been wrapped for a little over 3 hours here. Total time has been just at 7.5 hours. Beautiful color on it. You can see we got that brazen liquid simmering away. So I'm just gonna use my handheld, and now I'm not really worried about what the tip says. I'm going for feel. I'm going for softness, and I'm getting at it. I mean, it's sliding right in this brisket. Almost no resistance. That's what you want to feel. I know that point, Superintendent. So let's get our probe thermometer out of it. We're gonna take it over to the cutting board. Now I need to let this brisket rest a little while, and I'm gonna turn these drippings into an onion brisket gravy that's gonna be dynamite. So I just got some line gloves on with these nitro gloves on top. Look at that brisket flop. I'm gonna set it on the foil on the cutting board. It's loosely covered up with foil. So I'm gonna leave the brisket just hanging out here on the cutting board. I'm gonna go inside and take that braising liquid and turn it into a gravy that we're gonna serve alongside the brisket. And to do that, first we gotta strain it. I just got a large bowl and a colander, and I'm gonna pour all this hot liquid through the colander. It's gonna catch the onions, the garlic pieces, the bay leaves. You wanna pick those bay leaves out and set those onions to the side. Don't throw them away. Now, as that liquid sits there, the fat's gonna come to the top, and you wanna get that fat off because we just want the liquid. Then it's just like making gravy. We're gonna start with a couple tablespoons of butter in a large pan, add some flour, cook it off a few minutes just to get the rawness off the flour, and then start adding that liquid and whisking it at the same time. Now, once it hits a boil, that flour butter mixture, that roux, is gonna thicken that gravy up. That's what you wanna see. It'll start bubbling. Then we're gonna stir those onions and garlic right back into our gravy, and at that point, you got some brisket gold. It's ready to go with just about anything, but it's gonna be phenomenal over this Easter brisket. And this is my favorite part. I get to see how we did. Take it out of the foil. Oh, she's beautiful. Still juicy. Now to carve this brisket up, it's simple. You just want to go against the grain. It's kind of running here at an angle, and then just start cutting it as thick or as thin as you want to. I'm going about 1/4 inch. That's how I think you could eat a Sunday brisket. Man, this knife is going through it like butter. Smoke ring. We got that bend going. Will it pull apart? Oh, look at that. I don't think I can wait till Sunday. Heck yeah. And when we get down here to the point, you want to turn that brisket. We're going to cut across it, making some slices out of that point as well. That's the fatty end. That's the end I like. Got a ton of flavor. That's a burnt end right there, right off the edge. That's like meat candy. Wow. So now we got it cut up. All we got to do is try it with the gravy. Now, I would serve the gravy on the side. Don't just dump it all over the top. It's going to take away from that beautiful presentation on your brisket. I got to try it. So got a piece right here. Cut me a little bite of it off. You know I'm getting that little fatty end. I'm gonna try my brisket onion gravy right over it. Got the onions, got the garlic. I know it's gonna make a mess here on the board, but I gotta try it. Wouldn't be right. That sets it off. Tastes like really good roast that you expect on a holiday dinner. You don't have to do this one just for Easter. You can do it anytime. Brisket on another level. Hey, appreciate y'all hanging out with us here today at HowToBBQRight. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We even do a podcast where Sheldon and I will talk about this Easter brisket recipe, all kinds of other fun stuff that we're doing. Y'all give that a listen too. We'll see y'all next time. I'm board slapping good right there.